Hey guys, someone special is in the office. Jason is here in Singapore and we are ready to make some content.
It's a good thing you pointed it out because I would have to. Absolutely. It's a good thing you pointed it out. Still love these.
Yeah, these are nice.
Yeah, those are nice.
Is this the 3D printing?
Yes.
Alright, so this is where I'm going to enjoy it because I've been 3D. This actually is pretty good. These are cool.
Does this excite you more than actual like the toy, right?
That's the thing. I'm all about the process. And then so when I teach the process. I'm not teaching a design class. I'm teaching this is how you get your toy made. This is the part that fascinates me because when I was in school, it was, you know, if you want to be a 2D artist, you could just make a print, you get a lithograph. There's all these methods to mass produce your image, and there was never anything
for 3D
for sculptors. And so I think I saw my first 3D printer like 1988, 1989, and they were like $1 million. And we went to this field trip where it was like some like industrial company, and they would print like machine parts or whatever. And then so we got to look at it. It had its own room, and then there was like tape, you couldn't get near it, and it had to be like, and it was done with lasers. So I think the technology still exists, but it's, you know, it's much more refined.
And it's much more accessible to everyone right now.
Yeah, so when I discovered toys, and then when toys became affordable, that's why I got exciting, is when I discovered toys, is that, I can mass produce my sculptures this way. And so I got into the whole, and of course I'm a pop art fan.
Yes, definitely.
So, and it all kind of lined up. So now the 3D printing, I have my 3D printer at home. It's a frozen, yours is probably more advanced, but this is the stuff that fascinates me. It's all about these pieces and being able to make multiples.
I can just imagine the time you spend on one piece.
Yeah, I mean, a sculpt will take me, like I just did the Rex, the dinosaur. That was like 5 or 6 weeks just on one. And it's really not because it takes that long. I have to wait for the clay to harden. When I first started, I would use Sculpey.
Yes.
And I could bake it. And I could go from sculpting something, cooking it, and then within an hour, I could be back working. That hour now turns into 24 hours because I do it and I can't really touch it I can get away with 7 hours on a pinch.
That's epoxy clay, right?
Epoxy clay, right. Okay. So it's hard enough to where I'm not going to up, you know?
Okay, yeah.
So about 7 hours is kind of the good number. So I can get like maybe 2 sculpts in a day where I'll do one and then I let that sit and then I move on to the next one. And so they take so long because of the clay. So if we didn't have that, I could probably do one, in a week, or a week and a half. But with the 3D printing, now it's, working on the computer. It's a different satisfaction doing the 3D printing than it is doing a sculpt, but they're both good. Yeah, it's the hand sculpting. It's, it's just, I created this art with my hands. And then this was like all about process, using, sculpting on the computer.
Yeah,
the computer's way more forgiving than sculpting because I can
definitely.
If I fuck up,
there's this thing called Command Z.
Yeah. So you change it and whatever, but it's just a different satisfaction. They're both very satisfying. So when I see things like this is where I get excited. Well, I see people's workflows on computers, and I realize how bad I am.
So these are the ones with covers?
Oh wow!
Yeah, I think this is the ultra rare, right? This is the.
These are really freaking fantastic. These the edge and the quality. These are
Jason, do you paint your own?
I do everything. The only thing I'll let other people do is do molds because I don't like doing molds. Big detail in the ribs is way intense here. So you do 3D sculpting here too? That's fantastic. But the nice thing about the computer part is that it's easy to correct it. Easy to undo it. Thursday evening. Yes, come. Thursday. Will there be food?
Of course.
Come, there'll be food and drinks. See you guys on Thursday.
All right, see you guys on Thursday.
What are we here for today?
We are here for the Jaxx Freeny meet and greet.
Woo! End of the hour is there. Busy times. Are you nervous?
Is it your first hosting gig?
A little bit nervous, but I emceed once in uni and it was funny.
You got this.
Yeah.
Way back. What's inside?
Yes. There is a Jason Freeny poster.
Oh, sign!
It's a signed poster, and we have here PhD.
Fish Jam!
So I went back to Jackson, and I'm like, Jackson, listen, I, on the other hand, really want to make some toys, so let's do something. And I think our very first toy was the Sky Bomb. And I presented it to him, and that's kind of how the Mighty Jaxx thing started. And it's gone on from there. Thank you. So you have these Good to see you. Pleasure.
Yeah.
So yeah, see you in front, okay?
Yeah.
Hey guys. Hi.
Hi.
It's Jason's last few hours here. Yeah, he's pretty ready to go home, but before he goes home, we're gonna take him to one last spot, and it's gonna be the Mint Museum of Toys, where there'll be a bunch of vintage stuff. Ready?
Yes.
Yeah. And we'll get him home back safe to the hotel and then back to New York. Okay, hold on now.
Beatles.
Wow. Wow.
That's pretty cool.
Are you guys a fan of Beatles?
Of course.
Definitely right. You can't be right.
I think my mother had some of these. She must
That
have.
car is very cool down there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Yes. What year is this? 60s? 70s?
Oh, this is the 60s. This is
This is
before
the-
even I was
This
born.
would be like
Oh.
the early to mid, yeah, this is all
That's my
early
guess.
60s. I love this little guitar.
This is actually 1991,
Wow.
according to this, but they're of the Beatles from the 60s.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
And the toy is from 1991.
When is this one from, the little guitar?
It
Damn.
says 1963.
There you go.
There you go. Wow.
63.
Wow.
I was not even a thought.
Who's your favorite one though?
I like Paul.
Paul? Okay. Okay.
Paul actually lives in Manhattan, and I had a friend that ran into him at a diner and took a picture of her shoulder because he was eating with his friend. Yeah, yeah.
Nice.
I've never seen him, but I can't afford his neighborhood, so I have to go and hang up in his neighborhood.
Probably the more uptown ones, right?
Uptown, more sterile. I like the downtown part of Manhattan where there's a lot of food and culture and all that.
Okay.
But as I get older, I'll probably like it over
Let's see. Wow.
there. It's all beautifully distributed. Yeah, I like this. Well, this is a race car, probably from the 40s or 50s. That's my guess.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
What's
It
it
is the
say?
49 to 3. Yeah.
1920s.
Yeah, C10.
No.
I like this guy's eyes.
We had something similar when we were kids. Remember, you push it and then it popped.
Oh, yes, the popper. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they still make a version of it.
The Mickey Mouse carousel ride.
Mickey Mouse is cool.
Yeah, no, I'd like to see the carousel that came from.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the right look on his face for that position too.
It's very wrinkly.
It's like,
Is it real? Okay, so is it real Mickey Mouse or is it? Yeah, it's kind of a bootleg Mickey.
It's definitely bootleg, man.
Mickey was my favorite when I was a kid. Oh my gosh. He was just such an iconic character, and I grew up kind of close enough to Disneyland, and I would always want to go. And then my mom used to play a joke on me where I'd be in the bubble bath or something. She'd go, "Oh, I have to go get the door," and then she'd do the voice. She's like, "Oh, is Kendra home?" it's Mickey Mouse. Oh. Like that. And then I'm like, Mom, wait, tell him to wait, I'm coming. Oh my gosh. I guess I was a gullible child. But...
Ooh, okay, we are at, these are the dolls section.
Oh wow, look at these teddy bears up there.
Yeah, these are all handmade.
See, these are really, some of these are absolutely beautiful.
It's a Punch and Judy.
What years are those?
These are 1920s and 1930s.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, and they're saying so according to this, they took 4 weeks to make each one.
Wow.
What's the material though?
Imagine that.
Wood. And
Wood, really.
I mean, if you look at the face, I think
$20,000 teddy bear right there.
It's incredible. Wow.
Costs more than $1.
wow.
This teddy bear is from Germany, 1903.
Damn. I think if I'm not wrong, right, this is probably so the owner of this museum has it. This is probably about 5, 10, 15% of his entire collection. Yeah.
This is probably all his really good stuff.
Yeah. So these are all the Barbie doll
It's like we're
exhibits.
gonna move into the Barbies in the 60s and the 70s maybe.
Yeah, these are all.
Now, when I was little, my sister and I, we would take turns. Sometimes we'd play cars and trucks, and sometimes we'd play. These are the Robert Palmer girls from the video.
Robert Palmer.
Yeah.
That predates their time, but yeah.
Okay.
People our age will get it.
There's a video where all the girls are just exactly the same. And Dressed, yeah. The song's called "Addicted to Love."
Now you're gonna have to show them the video.
So these these are all owned by one guy in Singapore.
I like the way he's displayed them in the
Spectrum.
color spectrum. This is funny. When I first saw LOL, surprise, my daughter showed it to me, and she started opening it, and it was just. It's all this package, you gotta keep going and going. And I thought that LOL stood for lots of layers.
And
It's the
no,
beta.
wait, is it actually?
No.
Little outrageous ones.
Because you have to open one layer and you get to the, and then you open another layer and you get to, and then you open it, and but it was lots of layers.
Look, He-Man and the Masters of the Universe.
Yes, this was big when I was little in the early 80s, although
Yeah.
I never had it. My neighbor loved He-Man. We did watch He-Man cartoon at the end of the day.
Really?
After school every day, yeah.
He-Man and
And then,
Skeletor.
of course, followed by She-Ra for the ladies.
Do you had a phase where you were kind of obsessed with toys like that?
There was a time where when Transformers came out, and I was obsessed with Transformers, but of course, I didn't have any money. So
Okay,
I think
okay.
I bought one car. And it was like the Lamborghini. And this is back when they were made of metal. And they were like, they were die-cast metal in the beginning. They may have had some plastic parts. Yeah, but in the beginning, they were all metal. Yeah.
Damn, truly vintage though.
When we were kids, they would re-release Disney
Yeah.
films once a year in
Yeah.
the movie theaters. So, before you could watch them at home.
So so every year the movie, so like for me when I was little, it was Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
Oh.
So you'd go, your parents would take you to see it, and it would just play in the movie theater,
Yeah.
and that would be it. And you'd have to wait like a year or two
whole
for it to
year.
come back.
Oh,
Yeah.
in the
To
in the
see it
theaters.
again.
Okay.
And
So you couldn't just keep, and I always remember every year that came back, we'd go and see Willy Wonka.
Back then it's all film and
Yeah,
tapes, right?
that's it.
Right. There's
Yeah.
no digital to
Just go
it.
do the
It was a
video.
big deal, huge deal for children who grew up in the 70s.
Nice. Okay, we are at level 3. I think we are close to the last level already.
Right. You see, now they need a level that's for designer toys at some point.
Yeah. Wow.
Like it's Slacker Casper.
Oh, what's the point?
Yeah, what are you doing?
What's the point? Trying to scare everyone.
All right, this is my favorite so far. Whatever the heck those are.
Kaiju.
Baragon.
Baragon. Baragon,
There's
yes.
tin. Yeah.
Yeah, that is pretty cool.
Lithograph tin. What does that mean?
Little what?
Little graph tin.
I don't see it. Oh, lithograph. That's the printing process.
Oh,
That's
okay.
how it's been printed, which is they print one color at a time on top of it. With the ink is here, and then it gets pressed on, and then they re-ink it, and then they press the next one. It's
Look, it's sculptor hand.
it's funny.
This is awesome.
Yeah, Popeyes was. I remember watching a lot of Popeyes growing up.
Yeah.
A lot of it.
Flintstones I watched a lot.
Oh, yeah.
The Flintstones was basically a cartoon version of the Honeymooners.
Yeah, the TV show Honeymooners.
Oh.
Which encouraged yelling at your wife, I guess, right? Because
Okay.
My mother
just screamed at their
My mother
wives all the
wouldn't
time.
let me watch the Flintstones.
Why?
Because she thought it was
Bad upbringing.
disrespectful to women, the way he talked to women.
Okay.
But I could watch the Honeymooners, and they were the same show. It was
The Honeymooners used
him and his wife,
well,
his
the
next door neighbor.
Honeymooners was a TV show.
Yes.
Live action.
Live action.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
And then the Flintstones, obviously, cartoon, but it was basically the same characters. Yeah.
With the same personalities and everything.
Wow.
Now
These are so beautiful.
I keep seeing in Asia a lot. I don't know Rin Tin Tin
Wait,
very well.
That's interesting.
but you guys, I mean, you've heard of it, right?
I've heard of it,
Yeah.
but I don't know much
So
about it.
I think in Singapore, right, because when we were kids, a lot of us would always go to libraries, and the go-to comic books was always Tintin.
Tintin.
So
It's always
did he go
Tintin.
on like adventures or
Yeah.
something?
And for as much as I can remember, most of it is kind of like a Indiana Jones type
Yeah.
of story.
Wow, okay. It's a big Rin Tin Tin. So these are obviously displays for toy stores.
Yeah,
These are really nice.
yeah. Was Astro Boy or Ultraman a big thing in America?
Actually, Ultraman, whenever I would go visit my grandmother, and I would, you know, this is in the 70s, Ultraman would come on. I couldn't get it where I lived, and we probably only lived a half hour away, so the satellite or the antenna couldn't pick it up.
Was it dubbed in English or Japanese?
It was in English.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, it's
It's
still
and the
localized.
lips didn't line up,
Yeah.
and it would just be
Yeah,
stinks.
that's true.
Yeah.
Man, I would assume that I thought Astro Boy would be a little bit bigger.
Astro Boy, I don't remember ever seeing when I was little, and really
Only more recent, right?
more recent. And I do remember seeing Astro Boy, but I had no idea his story until the movie came out probably 20 years ago.
Yeah.
But Ultraman,
Ultraman.
I saw
yeah.
Ultraman all the time in the 70s.
I remember Ultraman as well. Yeah, growing up.
That's what we
Right.
watched in the 70s, though, for the most
Yeah,
part.
that's true.
Reruns.
And we didn't have an all the time cartoons. You would
That's
wake
true.
up in the morning on
That's true.
Saturday.
Saturday mornings.
That was it. And you had about 3-hour block on TV of Roadrunner, Bugs Bunny,
That's right.
whatever.
That's right.
And that was your cartoons. And then the other time we would see cartoons, at least in the 80s, was between 3 and 5 o'clock after school. That would be. You know,
That's they know the
cartoon
airtime is just
And that
nice
was
for the
it.
kids, yeah.
There were no cartoons on any other time. And
That's
that was
true.
it. And that's
Oh.
when you get your cartoons.
We didn't
Shit,
have Cartoon
really?
Network, none of that stuff.
Well, we are blessed,
Yes.
man, to have those.
Well, we're
Yeah.
blessed too now because as adults, we also are, you know, there's this kind of like renaissance of
Yeah.
really good TV that at any other time would be a movie.
True,
You know?
true.
It's just the quality of TV is just insane now. There's Betty Boop.
I love it. Wow.
She was like,
Yeah, very good.
she was like the vixen back in the time. She was like Betty Boop. Well, this clearly this was before my time, but just from what I know from Betty Boop, she was kind of like the sex symbol cartoon.
Okay,
of the time.
okay.
Yes,
But just
there
the
was
little
a
tiny
time
mouth and
of
the big
sexy.
cheeks.
Yeah.
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 Oh,
She was the it
Yeah.
girl.
They'd come up here and be like, damn.
very good. Wow.
Damn, look at that. Look at that.
Look at the size of those cheeks.
Look at
that
her hair.
microscopic mouth.
Look at that hair.
Are those fingers?
Did you see how tiny her mouth was? Damn. It's all the guns and the robots. See, this is the stuff that these are like the classic old toys that didn't offend anyone.
That's right. Because nobody can get offended by robots.
Well, let me see.
What year is that from? Is it Doctor Who?
Yeah, right.
No, Doctor Who is
It's the one below, right?
Oh, yes.
Right,
I
that's
believe
Doctor
so.
Who.
Oh, the Dalek. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So people are watching this that know their toys, and they're going,
This guy knows nothing.
It's okay. We don't know shit either.
just make sure you put that in.
Wow, this is so cute though.
Yeah, that is super cute.
This is so like MIB, you know, like.
It's a little water gun.
And those Men in Black,
That's
all the
yeah,
water guns
right.
were designed after these, because that's what was funny. It was like, wait, that's a little toy. It's like, no, it's not.
Wow.
Atom ray gun.
Wow. These are great. Jason, look at the Buck Rogers stuff from 1930. That's crazy because they rehashed it. Buck Rogers,
Mhm.
remember?
They keep rehashing. As long as it's like third or fourth rehashing.
But this one is 1930.
Who's Buck Rogers?
He
Like,
was like,
superhero.
you know, adventure, kind of like Indiana Jones, but in space.
Whoa. Whoa.
He's having a bad day, so he needs to stand him up.
1999. How old were you in 1999?
5.
Oh.
So
my son.
our first point with Star Wars is Phantom Menace.
So you were born in 95?
94.
94.
94.
I was 24, I was out of college. One day you're gonna look back when you're our age and just be like,
Yeah. Actually, I kind of already. I'm feeling it already.
It gets faster and faster the older you get. It just speeds up.
Thank you. Have a safe flight back, okay? Have a safe flight back.
Bye bye.
You guys rest well?
Yes.
You guys rest well for your flight. It's gonna be a long flight. Bye guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Jason.